Welcome to a discussion regarding the Louisiana criminal court process. Now, I've put this video together for those who are about to go through the process as well as their families that are going through it with them. I think it's very important that everyone be informed of the process ahead, as it is something that is probably new to most people. The typical criminal court case begins with either a summons or an arrest. A summons is reserved specifically for misdemeanor offenses. However, with an arrest, those are more for felony offenses, even though arrests can occur with misdemeanors as well. The very first court date in a criminal case in Louisiana is called the arraignment date. At this date, the judge will inform the defendant of the charges against him. At that point, he will be asked to enter a plea to the charges. He can either plead not guilty, guilty, no contest, also known as nolo contendere, or not guilty by reason of insanity, at which point another court date will then be issued. Motion hearings may be used to discover facts and to try to figure out what will be admissible at the trial against you. This is also a time that your attorney and the prosecution can start negotiating in your case. After motions hearings, there are what are called status conferences or pretrial conferences. This is generally a time for all parties to get together, the prosecution and the defense attorney, and maybe meet with the judge and figure out how the case will be resolved or if it's going to go to trial. If a reasonable resolution cannot be obtained, then the next step is trial. Trial is when the prosecution must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant committed each and every element of the crime for which he's being charged. The prosecution will do this by presenting various forms of evidence and witness testimony to try to prove their case. Depending on the type of case it is, the defendant may have a right to a jury trial. Jury trials are only allowed for felony offenses in Louisiana. Misdemeanors must be tried by a judge, and felonies may also be tried by a judge if the defendant chooses to waive his right to a jury trial. The final stage in a criminal court process in Louisiana is what's called sentencing. At this point, the judge determines the sentence in the case. There can be an agreed sentence between the defense and the prosecution. However, the judge must authorize that sentence. Now, this discussion of the Louisiana criminal court process is intended to be a very general source of information. There is a lot more that goes into it than just this, but this is a good starting point to know what's ahead. So if you have any questions, or you or somebody you know has a criminal charge, feel free to give me a call. Thank you.